Welcome to OmathaCraft Season 4. My name is Vortex Warp and this is Episode 2. And today we're kicking things off straight off with a time lapse. So in the last episode we laid out where we were going to start our sort of starter base, and I put a respawn anchor and stuff there. And in between episodes I've time lapsed the building of this bridge, which is a bridge that goes all the way from my current nether position all the way out to the nether village. So if you don't know, all the other players, or at least the majority of them, are setting up their base of operations in a nether village. So I decided to build a bridge all the way over to there, initially out of the warp slabs, and then I'm going to finish it off with some soul soil later on in the time lapse. So I'll let the rest of the time lapse play and I hope you enjoy. So hopefully you can now see how we made this soul sand road which lies before me. And it's made using soul soil, of course, not soul sand, simply because the soul soil allows you to run slightly faster. And I've actually got a couple of pairs of soul speed boots from Piglin trading. Unfortunately, I got some iron boots last episode, and I wore them down by running on the road. So actually, it does wear your boots down a fair bit, so that's something to be wary of. So we're probably not going to be able to make proper use of this road until we've got mending and a breaking on our boots, and obviously something better than gold, because obviously gold has really poor durability. But I think we should give it a try, so I'm going to pop these soul speed boots on and just show you how fast it is. So as you can see, this is just super fast, and I think it's probably slower if we hold down jump. But yeah, we can just run along, and I should probably pay attention to the durability. But I reckon we can run all the way out to the nether village and just show you around there briefly. Obviously I have got some proper plans for today's episode as well as this bridge. I've actually been gathering some resources for a project in between this episode and the last one. So we should hopefully get around to that some point in the middle of today's episode. But anyway, we're nearing the nether village now. I've just got a couple more tunnels to go through and then some stairs to climb up, and then I'll show you everything that's there. So obviously some of this isn't quite complete yet. I've got a little bit of netherite that I need to replace with the side slabs. And I also do want to decorate this properly and make it into like a proper bridge over the lava at some point. But obviously we wanted to get the main infrastructure of the actual road in there first before we installed all the decorative stuff. So yeah, I mean we did degrade a fair portion of our boots running over here. But I think it's perfectly fine, as hopefully we should have a better supply of soul speed by the end of today's episode. Anyway, we're here at the Nether village. There's this cool looking skull. that you might have seen briefly in the time lapse. I can't remember who built this skull, but it looks really cool and I'm liking the look of it. Obviously my tunnel currently enters here and I plan on building some sort of staircase up, but for now I'm just going to pop up this little raggedy staircase up the side here all the way up to the top, and you should be able to see there's a bunch of stuff. So at the moment there's just some portals and stuff all the way around that lead to the overworld. There's obviously the Hoglins, but that's not really part of it. There's a couple of... Oh, I haven't got... I'm so used to having elytra, oh my, that I just jumped off. And I don't have any blocks. This is a bit of a nightmare. I don't know why I forgot to bring them. But anyway, let's briefly show you around whilst we sprint about. We've got this tall tree here. We've got a lovely house here. I'm not sure whose house this is. And down there you can actually see the Soul Sand Valley where we went mining for the soul soil. This is Ninten's Nether home. No water, please. I don't know how he plans on getting water here. How would we get water here? Oh no. This is not good. Let's gather some blocks up. So anyway, this is the Nether village. There's a bunch of little houses and buildings about. Hopefully, though, it will expand over time and become a super cool little mini city village thing. But anyway, I think now it's time to head back to our base because I've got a couple of projects planned that I want to do today's episode. And I want to show you the resources that I've gathered for those projects in between episodes. Because, of course, it took a long time since I had to use stone tools. Now, why, Vortex? You might be wondering. Why did you have to use stone tools? And the answer to that question is that I've challenged myself to stay in the Nether for as long as possible. So this is why I'm wearing the gold armor and the leather armor, because I'm not able to go into the overworld to get iron and other resources like that. So I'm staying in the Nether and only using resources that I find there. So obviously the gold from the gold nether ore and the pigmen, and I'm getting the leather from the hoglins and also from the trading. And I have got a little bit of iron from the trading as well. But I'm saving that for hoppers so I can make a piglin trading farm. Oh. So I'm not making any iron armor, which means A, I'm significantly underpowered, and B, I'm using stone tools because that's the highest level we can get other than gold, but of course gold breaks in durability really easily. Luckily, I've set this little trap pit up here, so that if any hoglins come along, I just aggro them and stand here and they fall in this pit and die to the magma. And it's also quite effective at capturing the zombified piglins as well, and I can then just use their gold to trade with the piglins too. But anyway, what have we been doing in between episodes? Last episode we left off, we had our little base of operations set up, but I didn't have all these chests here, I just had a single chest I believe. So I've sorted out my chests into sort of random stuff over here, and as you can see I've got 19 iron, and that's because I raided the bastion in between episodes as well. I thought about recording this, but it wasn't actually too exciting, because I was just sort of hiding in between blocks and pillaring away. And did you see that magma cube? It literally just jumped off. Anyway, yeah, so we raided that bastion. That also allowed us to get the music disc that you see in here. This one over here, one of the new pig step discs. So we'll have to listen to that once we eventually get ourselves a jukebox. But yeah, it allowed us to get 19 iron ingots in the form of iron nuggets, and I also got some of them through the piglin trading. And that's enough to make a couple of hoppers so that we can make some farms in today's episode. I've also got this chest for all my blocks over here. So I've been gathering some wood. It's actually quite a hassle to gather wood because the leaves don't decay naturally. And so I've been having to chop them down with a hoe. And that's why we've got this chest over here with all the nether wart blocks in, because that's the leaves of the warped trees, and that's how much we've gathered. I've also gathered a bunch of netherrack, and that'll be useful for building the gold farm that I plan on building very, very soon. So yeah, I got some blackstone, some soul soil, some shroomlight, and of course the wood, and a bunch of other stuff from the piglin trading. And most importantly, the glowstone, so I can make sure that my respawn anchor is fully refueled. Just briefly going through my other chests, I've got a armory chest over here with some spare food and some spare gear. And most of this I got from raiding the bastions and stuff, but I also got some of it from the trading. And then down here, the most important chest is our magma block chest. Because today we're going to be building a gold farm. And what do you need for a gold farm? Well, before 1.16, you didn't need magma blocks. But in 1.16, you now do. Because if you want to farm the zombified piglins, you need to prevent all other mobs from spawning. And an effective way of doing this is using magma blocks, since the piglins and the hoglins and all the other random mobs don't seem to spawn on them because they are fireproof. So the design I'm using is an easy version of the farm that I can set up without gathering any turtle eggs, and it also uses minimal hoppers and iron, so that will allow me to collect the gold without having to worry about farming for the iron too long, since it's quite a hassle to trade with the piglins, especially since the gold is so sparse now that I've mined it all in this area. I mean, saying that, there's some gold literally right there, but again, that's fairly hard to get to. So I've gathered the magma blocks for the farm. I've also gathered a bunch of slabs over here, and also that's why I gathered the wood. We're probably going to need more resources than this, but it's a start that we can work on our farm and get enough gold to do some trading permanently in order to get enough resources to build the farm. And speaking of the farm, we're up here in the nether roof because we need to get above it in order to build our farm. And that's because we don't want to load any of the mobs down below in the nether, because when we're using our farm, we don't want the mob cap to be used up by these mobs. So by going above the nether roof, we can go high up enough so that we're not loading any mobs down here, and they all spawn in our farm and not in the general nether. And the challenges we face are A, how do we get items above the nether roof in order to build the farm with? B, how do we get above the roof ourselves? And then C, how do we get back down? And I have 3 solutions for these 3 problems. So let's tackle the first one first. How do we get items above the roof? Now, one of the ways I can do this is just by putting them in my inventory and taking them up there. But obviously I have to go up there, then deposit them in a chest, and then get back down and do that again. Whereas if I use this method, which I haven't actually properly tested yet, I should be able to dump them all in. So I'm going to try it with a sample size of 1 stack, and then I'm going to try it later. So the idea is that we throw a stack of magma blocks, or any item we want to get above the roof, into that gap. And then we place a block here, and they should be pushed up into the nether roof. So now let's go up there ourselves and see if that's the case. And this is where the next challenge comes in. So I've taken off my armor because I don't want to get that lost up there. And the way we do this is ender pearling into this space, which is at Y127, so there's only 1 layer of bedrock here. And hopefully that should allow us to get back up. So we've got to aim at the correct location, which should be the top of the ladder, and then we just got to jump up. And we're on the roof, and the magma blocks have come through too. So that's a good sign. So that means we can use our magma block technique in the future. So I'm going to dump all the magma blocks that I brought with me up. And now we've got the second challenge. And that's how we actually get back down from the nether roof. And this is a more difficult challenge because obviously we're challenging ourselves to stay in the nether. So we can't use the portal, which is how we normally do it. And we don't have the redstone resources in order to break the bedrock. So the only way I can think of right now is to just kill myself. So I'm going to place down a magma block and use it to kill myself. And I've realised I made a crucial error in that I brought all my food and all my ender pearls with me. So how am I going to ender pearl back through the roof? That was a rookie mistake. So anyway, now we just got to kill ourselves to get all the way back down to our respawn anchor. And we'll have successfully transported some items up onto the roof. In actuality, it was probably a good thing that I used all my ender pearls up, because it motivated me to get more prepared. So as well as getting my ender pearls, I've also got a respawn anchor so that I don't have to go to the bottom of the nether every time. And speaking of, I should probably reset my spawn point. And I've also bought a bunch more blocks. I bought some blackstone, some weeping vines and stuff just in case I need it. And actually, I think I'm going to send some of the slabs and stuff up right now. So we just got to throw it. Oh, I've got to get the angle right. There. Place the block. Break the block. I believe we are now ready to head up again. So I've got a single ender pearl this time. And I've just got to ender pearl into the correct location, which is there. And I failed. Okay. That's fine. This is what we have the spare ender pearls for. I've just got to ender pearl there. Oh, and I did it again. Have I got to hold shift or something? Is that what I'm doing wrong? Like that. There we go. That worked that time. Okay. We've got a bunch more blocks up here now. So let's place down a couple more chests. Oh yeah, and all the slabs that we brought up separately have also come up. So let's pop all of our resources into some chests. Obviously we're going to want to take it up to build the farm with in a second. But for now I'll just put it in the chest so we know what we're doing. And I think then we're actually going to jump into a time lapse. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and we're going to be building a pigman farm. A gold farm. We've got a gold farm. Or at least half a gold farm anyway. And we haven't built the other half, simply because we ran out of magma blocks. But to be honest with you, this half of the farm is actually decently efficient. And we're using magma blocks here so that, whoa. We're using magma blocks here so that we don't get any mobs spawning apart from the pigmen. And it's worked a treat. And this design is a design by Random G Games, so I'll leave a link to his video down in the description. And hopefully, if you want to put this in your own words, you can. Obviously, this isn't the most efficient design out there. However, it is easy to set up, and it doesn't require any turtle eggs or anything from the overworld. So the farm works wonders, and I just can stand here, and they die from entity cramming. At the moment, I haven't got any minecarts in there, simply because that requires a lot of iron, and my supplies are very limited at the moment, because I'm only acquiring it through piglin trading. But they do die on their own of entity cramming, and if I want to speed things up, I've also installed a macro in my mouse that hits the pigmen for me if I need them to. So that works a treat. I'm really happy with how that works. And if we come down to the bottom, I've installed a hopper minecart and some hoppers down here with a little bit of my spare iron to collect all of the resources in this chest. And we can do that, and we just have to throw out the swords every now and then. So as you can see in my inventory, I've gathered a bunch of gold, and I'm going to take that down now so that we can actually do some piglin trading, because I've got some piglins below the nether. I've marked out these two areas here. This is where we actually come up through the bedrock, and this is where we throw our items to get down back to the bottom. So I'm just going to throw all of my gold in here, and it gets picked up by a hopper minecart that's below the bedrock. So if we kill ourselves to get down, so I'm going to have to throw all of my items onto here so that I can take them down below the nether. So let's do that, like so. And all we need to do now is find a way to kill ourselves, so I've just got this handy magma block to do that. And unfortunately we lose our XP, but it's not really a big deal, because there's nothing to use our XP for in the nether. So once I've died, I respawn by the respawn anchor, and then we can just grab some glowstone and fill that up to make sure that we can continually respawn. And then we head over here to where our hopper minecart is, and you can see there's a hopper below that hopper minecart, which allows us to pick up all of our items, namely our gold, but of course we are throwing other items through there as well. Moving onwards, these guys are my traders, and these allow me to get all of my piglin trading resources, which I'm storing up in these chests over here. So you can see all the different stuff we're getting. The most important thing is the iron, which I get in the form of iron nuggets and craft up, but it is actually quite rare to get iron, so it's a little bit of a pain. But as you can see, I'm storing all of my resources that I get here, and there's a bunch of them, so this is really useful, and it's been a very helpful farm to get loads of these. And these are my traders, as I said. I've added some zombified piglin heads to them so they don't despawn, and these zombified piglin heads I got from the farm itself. So just by killing all of the piglins, I managed to get the heads, and I simply throw these down there so they pick them up. And all I do to trade with these guys is I simply chuck down a stack, and since there's only one on this side, I'll chuck down half a stack. And I simply stand here and wait for the piglins to throw me items. So they do that, and as you can see, it's a very effective way. We've got 3 of these guys at the moment. Obviously, in a future episode, I'm going to want to upgrade our system so that it automatically does this. But since we don't have access to redstone yet, and we don't have much access to iron, this is a great solution for now. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to AFK over here just for a little bit to get more iron. And speaking of iron, I just picked up 26 nuggets. And once I've done that, I'm going to use it to get more minecarts and more hoppers so that we can upgrade the farm to make it work flawlessly. But that will be something for another time, because we have come to the end of today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed, and if you have, be sure to leave a comment down below and think about subscribing. Goodbye.